Hey everybody, welcome back. It's time to take on the Layer Cake Desert. Although first, we should really see what we're getting into. Should really take a look around and hopefully Miiverse will load up. And we can really see what's ahead of us. There we go. An awesome new Yoshi. Well, we've got a pretty awesome Yoshi right here. Hate. That's a strong word, Lewis God. Super Surge. He seems very active. Always posting, that's good. Let's get right into it. Stone Eye Zone. You'll probably recognize the gimmick from this level. It's been used before. Those stone heads, they'll move up and down, side to side, diagonal. You can stomp on them and do all sorts of things with them. It's not super interesting, but they look good, and they're really one of the first platforming tests in the game. We had a few in the castle, but you know, we're in a normal level, and the game's gonna see if we're ready for it yet. Because a lot of World 1, it just feels like a bunch of plateaus, a bunch of areas you can run over with a few enemies. Maybe a jump here and there, but nothing too exciting. Now, with Baby Yoshi's little eating animation, you might think that that's going to get me in trouble. You might think that if you eat too many things in a row, well, if he's not done with his animation, you might get hit. Not true. Baby Yoshi can eat oh so quickly. He can eat faster than you or me. Doesn't matter if he's stuck in an animation or not, he'll get that next guy. And I bet for a second you thought that he managed to eat him right there when he grew gigantic. That would have been pretty cool if Baby Yoshi can eat while he's holding his breath. But unfortunately I don't think he's that cool. He's pretty cool though. I mean, look at this. He's gonna get us right over here. And we're gonna get the second coin. All thanks to him. I hope you like Baby Yoshi, because we're gonna be using him a lot in this video. And check that out. They actually thought to encode him getting squished on the top there. They didn't really encode the rest though. His belly doesn't seem affected by the sides. So, what can you do? There's only so much time a team has. We can't expect him to get everything. But overall, it's a pretty good introduction to this world. Each level is, you know, a little bit gimmicky, but that's cool. It doesn't feel like it's overwhelmed by gimmicks. There's just a lot of mechanics that are introduced, and we're very early into the game, so it's a good time for things to be introduced. It's a good time to just keep bringing some new ideas into it, or some old ideas. Just adding in. And Baby Yoshi's thrilled. He's happy. But not everyone in this world is happy. Obviously, there's the princess. Things aren't so happy with her. But things aren't going to be so happy with our friend Toad in a second. Really, Toad? Is he a weirdo? Or are you just not accepting enough? So, here's Nabbit. You saw him briefly if you watched the Super Luigi U video, but here's our introduction to him as a character in Mario. Really? This is also introducing us to the pipe warp function, and we don't really need to use it here because it would probably take as much time as just walking. Mario could use the exercise. So let's just run over there. Let's accidentally turn around for reasons I don't understand. And get Nabbit. Nabbit stolen some stuff, so we just have to catch up to him. He's fast, but we're faster. Baby Yoshi, you could be helping out a little bit here, but yeah, whatever. It's cool. The only problem with Baby Yoshi is probably that, well, he slows us down a little bit. His animation does actually let Nabbit get slightly ahead of us. That's okay. We'll get him eventually. See? He doesn't want to lap us. He slowed down a little bit. And now he's cornered. We could have him sent off to jail, but that would leave Luigi without a buddy. Leave him without a fourth player, so just in case Luigi gets a few other people to play, we're just gonna knock him out for a bit. I'm sure he won't be a problem. And hey, we got this swanky P-wing squirrel suit. And just a regular squirrel suit. So maybe you want Nabbit to stick around. Maybe it's in our best interest for Nabbit to hang around. And let's just see what people are writing about. You're taking a Wizzy? Okay. That guy was taking a Wizzy. Now, for Miiverse earlier on, we know to the right, there's a new kind of Yoshi. So maybe we don't want to go there yet, because we have an old kind of Yoshi. And we don't want to get rid of him just yet. Because I'm pretty sure you can only have one kind of Yoshi at a time. So let's just go around and we'll come back. We'll come back and we'll see that new kind of Yoshi. After we're done with our Yoshi. So as you see, his animation really is a problem. It's just a problem when I, well, keep walking forward for no reason and get hit by the pokies. But I'll learn. I'll hopefully learn. I'm pretty stubborn sometimes, so sometimes I don't learn. But here I think I will. This is an interesting level to play through with actually pretty much any configuration of power-ups. With the Baby Yoshi, without the Baby Yoshi. It's pretty interesting if you use the ice flower. And that's originally why I would go through the other cave and then do this cave. Because the other cave gives us the ice flower. And if you hit a cactus with the ice flower, well, it bursts into a bunch of pieces, and it's fairly entertaining. I'm playing this game for entertainment, right? At least I think so. Unfortunately, we're trying to keep the Baby Yoshi, so we're just gonna eat everything. He's pretty well suited for that, although his flight mechanic isn't the best right here because he's giant, he's a little slow, and again, that's the trade-off, a fair trade-off. Just listen to him. He seems so happy. So in the other thread, or in the thread, it was mentioned, or, well, Super Mario 3D World came up. And these two games get a lot of comparisons because, well, one came out a year after the other. One was seen as maybe slightly disappointing, while the other was seen as maybe the best 3D Mario platformer ever. I've seen posts telling people to, if they're going to play both games, to play this one first because it'll be pretty disappointing afterwards. Which, on the surface, seems kind of weird. They're different games, one's a 2D platformer, one's a 3D platformer. But, hey, this game doesn't do a lot new. It doesn't really take advantage of the Wii U hardware. It just gives us a new, solid Mario platformer. Maybe the best new Super Mario Bros. Game? I'd argue that. But it doesn't do something wildly different with the formula. Mario 3D World, it takes a game that was taxing the 3DS hardware. Mario 3D Land was basically as much as you could do on the 3DS at that time. And, well, it uses the superior hardware to make a much better game. It also set up realistic expectations and then exceeded them. I think after this game came out, when people saw Mario 3D World at E3 and saw the cat suit featuring so heavily, people thought, oh, there's a cat power-up. Great, great Nintendo, you're making 3D Land, but you're adding a power-up in 4-player mode. That's great. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun, but couldn't you do something new? And then they saw the actual game, which played really differently than 3D Land. I mean, it was still the same basic idea. It felt a little bit more like taking traditional 2D Mario platforming into the 3D realm. But it added so many more power-ups, it added unexpected hidden characters, it had all of this content. I mean, this game basically has as much content as you'd expect in a 2D Mario platformer at this point. 8 worlds, Star Road, Star Coins, and you know, a little bit more. I think some people ignore some of the bonus features in this game, some of the fun modes that we'll get to eventually. But in the end of the day, in terms of the main story, 3D World clearly feels like there's more to it. It feels like it does some new things. It introduces Captain Toad. And hey, Captain Toad's getting his own game, and that's great. I'm a big fan of Captain Toad. I mean, at most this game introduced Nabbit and the ability to screw with players in a new way in 5-player mode. So I can really see why people might say, hey, play this game first if you have to. It's nothing special. Or even if they like it, you know, play it first because the games aren't going to compare super well. And that's maybe a little unfair to this, but it's also fair given human expectations. But, I mean, look at this. This does have some creative ideas. I think this is just as interesting of a coin puzzle as any of the green star puzzles you see early on in 3D World. It's nothing amazing, and I'm not going to argue that this is a better game than 3D World, because it isn't. 3D World is pretty brilliant. I mean, it has so many things that are fun in it. Well, my little cousins, they've only played, well, they had only played 2D Mario games, except for maybe a little Galaxy one. And they had a choice between this and 3D World when they were over for Christmas. They never even played this because once they played a few minutes of 3D World, they just kept wanting to play the dragon, or the Mario Kart level, or, well, all the options that game gives you that this game really doesn't. It's so much fun. And who would have thought that 3D would be such a great choice for 4-player mode? But, hey, I think that's enough. Let's talk about this game, because we're about to see something a little different from this dude. That attack might surprise you if you're just kind of expecting the normal attacks, or maybe it's sped up a little bit. Nothing too tricky, but at least it's something. He's still dead pretty quickly, and we're gonna go on to you know, one of those things in some of the new Mario games that feels a little bit like padding. And they've kind of doubled up on it. We've got some enemy encounters. Nothing too challenging, and we've got 2 of them. Granted, I think the game only expects you to play 1, but that's fine. We're going to do both. We're going above and beyond. Seems like Bowser's going above and beyond, too. And not only is he taking over the castle, he's transforming it. Maybe terraforming it. Maybe Bowser can't survive in a nice, friendly environment. Maybe he needs his own environment to be happy. maybe his home planet's dying. Maybe whatever was going on in that Super Mario movie, maybe it's going on here. So, this is kind of embarrassing. Shouldn't have taken a hit there, but we did. We got another superstar, too. Yeah. Probably should have controlled my baby Yoshi a little better, but what can you do? We got a power-up, and we got another power-up. We're almost full up on power-ups. We better start using these soon. Since here's the Goomba, and we've got the natural enemy of the Goomba, the baby Yoshi. Yeah. That really wouldn't have been challenging even if I didn't have the baby Yoshi, so let's just continue. Just keep going, and maybe try and get a couple lives. Although, like I said, this isn't the last time I'm going to be embarrassing myself. As you saw in the first video, I'm not great at these. Definitely not amazing. At least it'll let me get a lot of coins even if I don't collect any green guys. Are those like stickers or discs, or are they supposed to be balls? They're being shot out of cannon, so you'd think that they're kind of cannonballs, but they don't look very round. And given the perspective we're seeing on the cannons, feels like we'd get more of a view of the 3D nature of these orbs, if they really are. At least we didn't lose any lives. Oh well, we've got plenty of lives. We'll be okay. Just keep forging on. And once again, the path divides. I kinda like the alternate routes you can take in Mario World, because, you know, the first time you're given a choice, it's not even really a choice. You want to do both of the first two levels in Yoshi's Island in Mario World, because one takes you to the Switch Palace and one takes you towards the end of the game. And you want to get that Switch Palace. And then when you have that choice in Donut Plains, well, one way at first just seems like it skips one level. But if you find the hidden exit, you can go to the other ghost house. You can go to that level that's kind of hidden in Valley of Bowser. And it really feels like you're taking an alternate route. In this game, they just give you two options, and you can skip a level if you want. And you're not even really skipping a level. You're just doing one level instead of the other. It feels like, I don't know, needlessly making the game shorter. I mean, I know that the new Mario games are all about options. They're about letting people play a harder game if they want, or, you know, go easier on newer players, but that just seems a little bit excessive. Not a horrible thing, but, I don't know, a little disappointing. It'd be nice to get an actual alternate route. Like right here. The alternate route to using that PAL block is just using our baby Yoshi. Or, I guess, our flying squirrel suit. Really, there's no reason to use that PAL block unless you've really screwed up. And, you know, one other thing I like about this level is they really put some thought into the power-ups. Since we've got our squirrel suit, we can really rush through the level if we want. I mean, we can also kind of rush through it with our baby Yoshi. But the squirrel suit lets us skip the monotony of the slow platforms. If we want, we can do the level that way. Or we can kind of fly through it. We've got to avoid the enemies above us, so we can't just glide through everything really quickly. It's still going to require some skill. And that's a good... It's well thought out. If they did take it easy on this level, or on this game in some ways, they didn't in others. I'm not sure the ice flower is the best choice for this level, but it does have some advantages, so let's use it. In general, I mean, I'm a big fan of using flight when I can, especially because the squirrel suit looks so good. But the ice flower will be useful if we lose our baby Yoshi. Don't worry. Don't worry. May have seemed like I was setting up a joke, but we're not. Wasn't foreshadowing. Baby Yoshi's safe for now. He's doing okay. He's gonna keep eating, guys. He's gonna keep just being cute, being cool. And while the game really does start in World 2, in some ways, it still feels like it's very much a rehash, that there's nothing new going on because, hey, we've got these guys again. Remember them from Mario Wii? I do, and, well, they weren't too exciting there, but at least this game's doing something a little bit more interesting with them. And are we about to get the most delayed extra life ever? No. That would have been pretty fun, but we failed. It's okay. We'll take that in stride. One of the mechanics I really didn't like in some of the other New Super Mario Bros. Games was forcibly slowing you down. Taking that kind of cliff mechanic, having Mario hang off of it and kind of hang from it or shuffle along the top. It's like Mario games aren't Sonic, they don't have to go fast, but you should have the option, really. It should feel like you're never purposely slowed down except by the occasional auto-scroller. And, you know, we've got those guys who are just dropping rocks on us and seem well suited for that slower mechanic. And here, we're facing them in a more interesting setting. And now, we might have to bid farewell. Let's use one of these superstars, these starmen, and head in. Knowing this may be where we bid farewell to our baby Yoshi friend. Because there's a new Yoshi in here, as we know from Miiverse. I wonder what he's like. Can you guess the mechanic for this level? Can you guess how we're going to get around the gimmick? Yeah. Goodbye, baby Yoshi. I really wish I could just respectfully sit you down, but I'll just toss you off into a new habitat, new ecosystem. This is an ecosystem meant for glowing Yoshi, so I hope you do okay here. I'll miss him. I'll miss him a lot. Now, we probably would have been better off just keeping our little baby Yoshi friend. But, hey. I'm sure you were thinking, well, this game sure is easier with the baby Yoshi. Are you ever gonna, branch off on your own? Is Mario ever gonna do anything on his own? And I can understand that. So, we've got this guy, and we'll just do something new with him. He can't fly, he can just glow. And that's cool. The glowing is a little bit silly, but it's useful here. Useful in this environment. Come on, there you go. And he can still eat. He can still eat fire, and that's important. I don't remember what those enemies are called. I can remember the Pokies. I can remember the Monty Moles, the Mega Moles. I can remember so many enemies. I can't remember the little flame heads? I don't know. They were a Mario 3 enemy, and Mario 3 was never one of my favorite Mario games. I know that's pretty blasphemous. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's that I never had the NES as a kid. When the NES was out, my family still had it in television because my mom had gotten it for free when she worked at GT. And, hey, it was really fun. I loved the Intellivision. Loved Night Stalker and baseball. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, even though as like a 4 or 5-year-old, I had no idea what Dungeons and Dragons was. I thought Dungeons and Dragons was just this cool video game that had Dungeons and Dragons in it. And, you know, you kind of battled things. I had no idea that if you went around telling people that you love Dungeons and Dragons as an adult, that probably wouldn't be a good thing. Luckily, I learned in time. But as a kid, I had no idea. And as you can see, we're not going to be able to keep this baby Yoshi for much longer. In fact, he's gone. He's just going to hang out here in his ecosystem. He's not going to go ruin other ecosystems like our baby Yoshi friend. Goodbye. Goodbye. We've got to go back on our adventure. And now we've got to do it on our own. But we're well equipped. We've got plenty of power-ups. And the levels will provide. Hey, we lost our little flying friend, but it's a Lakitu level. And Lakitu gives us a chance to fly. We just gotta get up there. Now, we've seen the rolling hills in Mario games for a while. Doesn't seem like an original idea here, but I think this game does more interesting ideas, or more interesting things with it than Mario Wii does. Mario Wii, you know, they'll hide a shortcut or a coin in them. But for the most part, it doesn't really feel like they add to the challenge of the level. In this, the way they're moving around the piranha plants, the way they affect the Monty Moles, just the way they're implemented into the level, it just feels a lot more interesting. Just better planned out. And hey, when you've added a mechanic into a second or third game, you should know how to use it better. There should be improvement. Coin seems to lead somewhere. Feels like if we don't get it, we're not going to get all the star coins, but let's not wait around. You never know. It could just be a red herring. Wonder if we'd be able to go back. Or a POW block. Maybe we could use that back there? Let's get rid of this guy. Let's see what's up here. Another pipe. Another star coin. One thing I think some recent Mario games have been missing, this is just like a weird thing to notice, but it feels like the musical blocks haven't been as musical as they are in this game. It's not pretty music, but it's something. It would have been cool if they used the kind of the music note mechanic where as you hit more of them, maybe more of a traditional Mario song would play. I don't know. Might have been a bit too much work for a little tiny thing that isn't used too much in the game. And here we're going to learn that Miiverse isn't the best for the LP format, because for whatever reason they don't mirror your post on screen. So I guess I'll just tell you what I posted. I posted, I miss Baby Yoshi. Except I spelled baby, BB, because this is social media. Miiverse is just a new form of social media. So let's act like those people on social media do. Let's be cool. I could just edit this out, but you know, we're trying to show off the game. We're showing off the black screen that greets you sometimes when you're posting on Miiverse. So for the most part, I'll just show off other people's comments on Miiverse, and I'll refrain from doing it myself. As sad as that is. The first castle really upped the difficulty in the first world, and you know, this is one of the first really challenging levels. There's a couple areas, a couple star coins that make you think and kind of challenging your platforming skills, and that's good. Like right here. You might think, okay, closely spaced little blocks, I can just run over those. really, you should be jumping, because if you just try to run, you may just end up in the lava. So, just tightly placed jumps. Those will be fine. And right there. That pipe doesn't work. But there's a hidden one. Feels like kind of cheating, though. I mean, if we were playing on an old CRT TV, we wouldn't have this widescreen setup, and the more square setup would have just shown us that hidden pipe. I'm onto you, games. I'm onto you, new technology. I know that you're actually screwing me over. And here, the green pipe doesn't seem to lead us anywhere. Maybe we'll come up with a red pipe later on. Or maybe we won't find anything. We'll see. Just keep going, and coming up on, you know, again, not a super challenging star coin, but it seems like the easiest way to get there isn't the best, just because of the placement of the blocks. So we've got to go down here, got to jump up. Nothing too hard, but the challenge is increasing. The moving blocks will definitely make things a little bit more interesting, especially when you forget to jump there. When you decide that maybe you're gonna pass over those guys and then come back for whatever reason. I don't know why. I'm really proud of that. The game sets it up, and I probably could have gotten even more extra lives, but it seemed like I wasn't going to get any, and the timing just worked out. Again, this is probably the more challenging part of the level, and it doesn't really even look that way. But until you kind of run on these moving platforms, you don't really see how fast they're going and how they screw up Mario's speed, relatively speaking. So you might just run and try and jump through it, and you'll probably die, because you can't get through it that quickly without a bit of thought. And you might lose a death or two here. That's fine. It's good that the levels are getting to the point where there's a risk of dying, rather than just, you know, screwing up by not treating them as a threat. If just through normal gameplay you're dying a couple of times in the second world, that's fine. It's funny that they do give us the little hidden fire flower here, because it's kind of useless. Morton isn't really set up to fight with a fire flower, because he's got a shield. This guy works with two kinds of attacks. He'll either knock them horizontally, or he'll kind of lob them at you. The lob is a little trickier to get out of the way of, and fortunately or unfortunately, he didn't do it this time. And he does have a quick kill, like pretty much any Koopa Kid. Before he can get his attack up, you can just jump on his head. Could be showing it off a little bit more, but hey, the game is giving us a chance to kill him, so we should take him out. And now the game is going to introduce something I didn't really like in New Super Mario Bros. 2, and I don't love it here. And that's the fact that you can skip worlds. There's not a ton of levels in the first place. I really would rather not skip entire worlds, but we've got a choice coming up. Do you want to go to the glacier? Or do you want to go to the water? The tropics? Or the cold? Let me know, because I've got to record some Super Luigi U in the meantime. So, let me know where we're going next. See ya.